Well, sports business is amongst the most trusted businesses globally. There are different types of sports and different tools of play. And so today on The Millionaire Mind with me, Linda Alela, we get to tour a ball-making industry to get to understand how it goes down there and most importantly, how it has largely been used to create employment to dozens of Kenyans. And of course, receiving us this day is none other than Francis Kyalo, who's going to take us through the story behind this great business. And I'll certainly throw the ball to him so that he can get to introduce himself. Over to you, Francis.
Wow, thank you so much, Linda. It's a nice throw. Welcome to Alive and Kicking. My name is Francis Kyalo, and I work for Alive and Kicking. We started Alive and Kicking back in 2002 with other several guys. The idea of making balls came when I was young, because I used to make the balls with the rags. So when my idea and other friends, we put the idea together, we started making the leather footballs. And because I had the passion and matching the two ideas, we came up with a program. And that's when we started the company. And since then, we are still alive and kicking, making all sorts of sports balls, ranging footballs, volleyballs, netballs, and all the balls you can see from this rack behind me. So you are most welcome to Alive and Kicking, where all the sports goods are found, more especially the balls.
All right, here we are, and yes, it's all about not football, but all about balls today. And I am enjoying myself. I want to believe that I'll carry one for my loved one. My little boy must be happy wherever he is, because today he's getting a ball. Welcome aboard, and of course, like you've heard, the guest of the day introducing himself. It's time for Business Niche, where we get to understand the nitty-gritty details and how this came into inception and why years down the line is still alive and kicking. And crossing over to you, and I'm just looking at the balls around, by the way, generally.
Yes.
Beautiful balls, different in color, with different messages on them. And I was like, why and what is so special about them? This is more of a chewy or a what now?
It's a cheetah ball.
This is a cheetah ball.
It's a cheetah.
And yours is a lion ball.
It's a lion.
So what's in the designing and the just branding and the names and the message that is passed through these balls?
Okay, when the idea came, as I said before, it was not only for us, but we wanted to help the community outside there.
Right.
So what we did is that we looked for the materials which we used to make the balls, because when you see these balls, we use the whole primary mathematics we call trigonometry, where we've got the shapes.
Okay.
And if you can see, the smaller one is a pentagon, and the bigger one in an hexagon.
Ah, all right.
Yeah, so it's a composition of pentagons and hexagons. Yeah, and making these balls with animal brands, it just is like we are improving our tourism, because now you see the lion, we have a message whereby we say this is our wildlife and it's also our heritage.
Wow.
Protect them.
Okay, that's beautiful. So made in Kenya. Feels so nice to have one coming from home. Technically what we're not used to. So how does it feel like, and how do you guys get to have it done right here in the country?
Yeah, that's a very nice question, a very good one, because we are proud of what we are making in Kenya. That's why you see these balls with our brand Kenya logo. And the local the material is locally available. So we are proud to have everything locally available. Wow. We are also improving the companies around, as we make balls for the guys who are outside there who could not afford to make a ball. But now when Alive and Kicking came, we are able to make balls and distribute to schools, supermarkets, the retailers, and everybody who needs the balls.
So when you talk about everybody who needs the balls, somebody can just walk in and say that I want my ball, and have this message on it, branded and all that?
Exactly.
Oh.
Yeah, because we do the branding.
Okay.
Not alone the lion balls. If you can see behind me, we have several balls with the different brandings.
Yeah.
We got the rugby, the American football,
right?
All sorts of balls, depending, because every age here is sorted.
Yeah.
We make from size 1 through size 5 as per FIFA specification, because you have to conform to FIFA specs of size, weight, and circumference.
All right.
Yes.
I look around and I see you've been in so many initiatives, and I am actually looking at the balls also. I can see something to do with HIV and AIDS, something to do with great things that inspire the community. Why is it that you've decided to take that line?
Now, the main motive of when we brought the ideas together, first of all, we wanted to create employment to the people in the slum areas. And secondly, we wanted to create awareness of the deadly diseases like AIDS, HIV/AIDS, TB, malaria. That's you can see our posters having some guys talking about HIV/AIDS. So one of the main purposes we started Alive and Kicking was to create awareness of these deadly diseases. Of late, the cancer is like the most one, which is now
being dreaded, and people are talking about
to almost everybody. And I guess it's due to the foods we are eating, but we can't avoid eating. You have to.
You have to.
But we have to be very careful what we are buying from the retails.
So we are expecting to get like pink, balls with the cancer sign, the reborn, telling us
the reborn, like as we do for AIDS. So in the future, because the cancer is a serious disease nowadays, globally, not even in Kenya, we love to look that, and then we make balls with those messages. Yes.
Well, that's good. Enough of what Alive and Kicking is all about. I know I would want to ask about the name, but it's evident, Alive and Kicking. Maybe that's the reason why years down the line you're still here. But then I'd want to know, let's now talk business. You can have it down so that you see choke, you have these people when you say, sometimes kushikilia, when you carry a needle, it is not very heavy, haikuchokeshi, but when you carry it for a whole day, then you realize that mkono yako imechoka. So we can look at this and think it's fun to carry it around, but when we carry it throughout the show, we might end up coming up kama tunasikia muscles zimekataa. Well, that aside, let's talk some bit of business and just let's get to understand what one would need to start this kind of business. Apart from the passion, of course. Yes, and you know very well the kind of tough times when we have right here in the country. When people say they want to start businesses, it's always a tough process. So generally, apart from looking into that deep aspect, what is this thing that one would want?
It is very simple to start a company for making balls. In fact, we have to know where to source the material. And secondly, where you are going to get the machines for cutting. Because apart from stitching, which is manual, the machine, that's very important. One would not like to have the Juakali one, but you have to import the machine, which is hydraulic, which you do the cutting of the panels I've talked of, the pentagons and hexagons. And then you look for other source of material, with the foil, the canvas, and the leather. Those are locally available. So it's not hard to start. But sometimes when you are starting things, they are not so easy. Because you have to do all the clearance of those machines. Until they reach here, it'll take time. But because you have the passion and you have to help other people outside there, you have to.
So what is the significance of starting up this for the African child? Because I remember you mentioned something to do, you wanted every other African child to have this chance to play with the ball. Because I remember my childhood days when you really, there was that interest of playing a football, and you have to make yours nazile makaratasi and everything. Nowadays, I don't think kids do that. I move around and I rarely see kids doing that. Is it because then it's become easy to access this? Balls?
Now, one of the missions we came about when we were having this idea is to make sure that every African boy or girl outside there plays with a leather repairable football, which is made by Alive and Kicking. And so, because some could not afford the balls, we urge those guys who are able to buy a ball and donate to those kids or to those schools or to those clubs.
That's nice.
Donate the balls to the guys so that those guys, the boys outside there, the girls, they might nurture their talent. So when we come up with that idea, we made these balls, and it's rarely to see now people or boys playing with the balls made of rugby. They are playing leather repairable footballs, also from Alive and Kicking. This ball is very durable,
Right.
because we have the coating. We coat the leather as we saw downstairs. We coat it with a polymer, a VPC polymer, a polyvinyl chloride that protects it from absorbing water during rains. And then underneath we have the canvas, which protects the ball from stretching when being played. Because the FIFA specs is it should be very small, the expansion about a centimeter. So these balls are all weather and they are durable. And they are suitable for the African pitches, which are very rough, unlike the Western guys having
we can only
carpeted.
Advance that with all those promises from the government. And indeed, when you're doing business, quality needs to be guaranteed. So talking about that business and the aspect of creation of employment, we are acknowledging the fact that President Uhuru Kenyatta is focused on seeing to it that we're able to come up with great industries, which is also a nice entity that we see here today. And that aspect of us manufacturing our very own. So in terms of creation of employment so far, what would you rate yourselves, as Alive and Kicking? What do you say about the level of employment that you created in the country and the fact that you've been able to reach out to different people, from all walks of life?
In fact, Alive and Kicking, we are trying very much to create employment to most people. For instance, we partnered with people with disabilities, which is very hard for people with disability to get some chances in different companies. But as Alive and Kicking, we partnered with them. For instance, the ADDA guys, we partnered with them, and then they brought their people here, and then we have impacted the skills to them. We have trained them to know how to sit the boards. And when you go downstairs, the guys are there. We just give them the skills, and now they are producing. So that means disability is not inability. So they are just hearing impaired. The rest is okay. They have the hands, the legs, so they can stitch.
I have seen them and I'm impressed at what I have seen. And I think that is something that is pretty much commendable, just giving space for everyone in the society and not looking down upon them. When you talk about creating employment and having these people on board, then it becomes tricky if you've not been able to penetrate the market very well and you're not making money out of it. So how far have you penetrated the market? I was looking up there and I noticed, there's a country manager. So I'm thinking, have you penetrated the market to, have you gone to other countries, and how is business like right in the country?
Well, business, when it comes to marketing, our biggest sales, the guys who are buying our boss buyers, they are the retails, the retail supermarkets. So most of our markets are in the retails, in the supermarkets, also in schools, bookshops, NGOs, NBOs, and all those. So that's where we get our market. But
what is your market like? Your target market? I would if you'd say, and what is the biggest that you've ever gotten in terms of selling, right from the time you started?
Well, apart from selling in the country, we also do export these balls to other countries. Last month we did in Uganda. We also did in Rwanda and Tanzania, and we also export to UK and US.
Big games. Have you ever had your balls playing? In big games?
Recently we did the Africa Cup of Nations.
Oh, that's good. At least Africa buying Africa.
Close to 2,000 balls, 1,500 to 2,000 balls. So we produced. So
how does it feel like when you see now this?
It's good when you see
people
your ball
embracing.
Being played in another country.
It's a very nice thing.
We say, wow, this is the work of my hands and my colleagues. So we feel good when we see our products are being used by other guys.
Is there that belief? Have you had challenges where there's that question of quality, and if at all, how have you dealt with it? Because mostly we are Kenyans, but every other time you're told, why don't you buy Kenya? Why don't you buy Kenya? Simply because we don't believe in our brand. So have you had such challenges?
Yeah, we had such challenges, but I being the quality controller, I don't compromise on quality.
Quality, that's amazing.
You have to conform to all FIFA aspects of size, circumference, pressure, and what have you. So quality, you can't compromise it. We have to get it right fast before the complaints come.
Including the branding and everything, they have to be perfect.
The printing, the stitching, the cutting, the leather, and what have you, what is needed in making a ball. So
what are the challenges, the biggest of challenges you'd say that you guys have gone through to see to it that you're here today? The challenge is that we have the guys from Jua Kali. Okay, it is their business, you can say. But
their products, maybe they are a little bit lower in
Right,
price.
in terms of price.
As compared to ours, because of those, we have to follow the processes from KEBS guys and all those certificates.
So they have an upper hand in the market.
They have, another thing is we have those cheap imports from outside.
Oops, okay.
There's a lot of synthetic balls which are being poured in the country, so sometimes it's a challenge to us.
Have you people tried to push an initiative maybe to the government to try and control this? Maybe come up with ways that you can have the Juakali, incorporate them in this and probably work together towards making the best of this, and equally just trying to have the government limit and say that we need to focus on buy Kenyan.
Yeah, we have done all that, because before then we did have the brand Kenya in our balls.
Yeah.
But when we talked with the government and all these guys, the brand Kenya logo, they came, we talked, and then we started branding the brand logo in our balls. So that's made in Kenya. It's a Kenyan product.
Okay.
Yeah.
Future plans?
So we are also waiting for the government
To
to
see
see whether they liked on the same.
All right.
Yep.
Okay, that's amazing. So future plans for the entity at large, for football, or maybe for sports in the country, knowing very well that we've seen our sportsmen and women also having complaints that maybe we're not doing enough for them.
Well, I see the future of Alive and Kicking being very bright, because we are not only in Kenya, we have expanded to other countries.
Amazing.
We are in Ghana,
Right.
and we are also in Zambia. We were in South Africa, but due to some labor challenges in South Africa, we were forced to close that down.
All right.
So,
So sometimes we experience differences in different countries in terms of business.
yes, because
okay.
of the labor laws. Some
Alright.
some labor laws in different countries, they are very tough as compared to ours here. But every country has its own rules and regulations on
Yeah.
how to do work. So I see it being bright.
Right.
Yeah, we can as well, with my guy with the idea we are together, we can see whether we can either open another branch somewhere else and maybe do something else. But mostly we have to do the balls, because every age in ball is catered. If you are 2 years, 3, 4, 5, and up to 15 years, where you are supposed to play the size 5 footballs.
Okay,
Yeah,
well, this
so
is a size 5.
These are size 5.
Interesting.
FIFA approved, which
Okay.
were being played in Egypt the other day.
Hey, yes, congratulations on that. So when you
Yes.
talk about, okay, generally as we get to wind up on this one, yeah,
Yep.
I think it's important that we talk about, the relationship, of course, as you work together as staff members. So do you always come up with activities in terms like maybe football or maybe games that you have, time to go out there and team build as a team? So when you come back to the office, then you're fresh enough to tackle the day and the days, ahead.
Yeah, in fact, last week we had a pepeta challenge indoors here.
Oh, that's
So
nice.
everybody was pepetering.
Do you know how to pepeta?
Yes.
Are we
yes,
going
yes,
to pull
yes.
that for us?
Yes, but I can't go more than 10, but the guy seems to go over 150 downstairs there.
That's interesting, yeah.
So we have those types of fun. Then there is a present for whoever wins. We also have a club here. We go outside. There is a field there. After work, we go and play football there.
Ah, that's good.
So those.
You test your skills and see whether
Yes,
you've
and
done the
see,
best of
and then we
balls.
test our leather with the rough. The pitch there is very, very, very stony.
Okay.
So we tested the leather there.
That's interesting.
Yes.
Well, typically of what the Kenyan, pitches are, I hope we can do something about that. So,
Yes.
Lastly on this one, any advice to any young person who would be sitting, or anybody who would be sitting at home and sort of feel like, they don't have a job and maybe they've almost given up on life. When you look at the fact that you can come up with this great idea and have it grow to that point, and the fact that, yes, there's still ground for employment out here.
Yeah, my advice to those guys who are outside there is don't just sit at home and wait for a job to find you at home.
Yeah,
Wake up. Okay, every morning, go as if you are going to a place of work.
I know.
Come, either here or somewhere else, and look for a place to work. If you have some chances, sometimes we just pick some people and we train. Come and see whether at that time we have a vacancy, we train you, you start this. If
This
not
is
here, the
amazing.
other guys who are doing the Juakali.
All right.
You can as well engage there first before you join us here. If we get the vacancy, we'll absorb you.
Certainly, of course. You knock 1, knock 2, knock 3. Who knows? Probably the 4th knock is what is going to land you to this dream place that you'd want in life.
Yes.
Thank you so much. We'll come back to you later on as we talk about matters finances. But first, let's cross over to Colleague Talk.
Jina naitwa Juliet Auma. Nimefanya kazi na Francis kwa miaka 6 sasa. Tangu nianze kufanya naye kazi sijaona ubaya wote naye. Kazi ikiwa mbaya nakuja mnaongea. Kidogo mkipitana kidogo mtaongea lakini mtaelewana. Upande wa advice ni mzuri, yako sawa. Ukiwa umekosea atakuita muongee, na ukiwa umemkosea ama kama ni yeye amekukosea atakaa chini afikirie na atakuja muongee. Sio mtu wa mambo mingi, ni mtu mzuri kwa vile kwa hiyo muda nimemjua, pande yangu ni mtu mzuri.
Kwa majina naitwa John Ravonga. Nimefanya na Francis Kyalo kwa zaidi ya miaka 12 hapa, na kazi ikiharibika huwa anakuja tu mnaongea na yeye, na ikiwa mtapitana utakasirika, lakini baadaye atakuita tu msameane na kazi iendelee. Kwa hivyo si mtu mbaya tangu nimjue. Tumefanya naye vizuri, mtu mzuri sana kwa hii kampuni. Sio mbaya. Francis naweza mbadilisha sababu kazi yake akifanya hapa sijaiona akikosana na mtu. Kazi yake anafanya tu vizuri kulingana na kazi yake, na alianza na kushona hadi hapo mahali amefikia.
Mimi naweza sema kama ni kubadilisha, naweza kubali Francis abadilishwe awe kama boss, sababu hiyo kuelewana na watu na njia anapelekana na watu ni njia mzuri.
Mimi Francis ningependa sana kumwambia aweke bidii sana. Ametoka mbali na kwenye anaenda, aendelee hivyo. Namtakia mema sana kwa maisha yake.
Francis naweza kumwambia aendelee kuwa na moyo huo. Tangu vile tumejuana hatuja kosana, so aendelee kuwa hivyo na Mungu atazidi kumbariki. Mali ametoka ni mbali na bado kwenye anaenda ni mbali.
And on Money Talk, let's get to understand something small about money. I think it's only fair that we do. And of course, back to the guest of the day to tell us more about how much they can make, of course, say monthly, out of the sales of these balls. And I think the question is direct. How much monthly can you make?
Well, we've got 40 stitchers downstairs.
All right.
So he's entitled to do 4 balls a day. So the production for the day is 4 balls.
4 balls a day?
4 balls a day for each individual.
For every individual.
Everybody has to make 4 balls.
And how much would you sell for a month in terms of money and all?
We've got a target for the year whereby we've targeted to sell 40,000 footballs.
Okay.
So that translates to 3,000, close to 3,500 balls a month. Depending on the sizes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in terms of my cash, let's just talk about money. How much would that be?
For a ball like this rugby ball, this is 1,600 Kenya shillings.
Kenyan shillings, yeah?
Shillings, yeah.
So the very same amount of money that one would buy while in Kenya is the very same amount that would be sold when abroad, or depends?
No, when it goes outside to the retail, they have to hike a bit.
Because then the process and the shipping and all that.
Yeah, so they have to hike there to get that margin. But from the source, it's always cheapest from the source. So when we release it at 1,600, they might sell it at 18 or 19 from the retail.
So the profit margin, general profit margin, just roughly round up, maybe annually or monthly, how much would it be?
I think now you have to consult the account guys.
Accounts. Yes, we're going to. We'll definitely get that. Yeah.
This is accounting, and you see, maybe
I'm actually thinking that this is just a secret here. Sometimes there are companies that one would not want to tell you how much they make, so we'll not go into getting to understand it from the accounts guys. Well, maybe just that moment. We also have a segment where we talk about, of course, the market price out there. So at least you'll have 2, 3, 4 balls and get to see the market price generally right here in the market. And I won't push you to that, but I would just love to know, the employment. The employees that are on board today, like how you said one can make 4 balls a day.
Yep.
So how do you pay them? Is it in commissions, or maybe is it monthly or per ball? It depends on.
Well, the guys are paid a salary.
Yes.
So they earn a salary every month.
Okay.
Yeah, but when we get the cashews, they just do piece rates, where we just pay per ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Which is 200 shillings per ball. Yeah, for the cashews.
Oh, so 200 per ball.
Yeah, per ball.
Okay.
So if you do 4 balls, you are good to go to with 800
With
Kenya
800
shillings.
bob shillings, yeah.
Yes.
Are there times where there are people who are very active and they can take it up to 5-6 balls?
Yes, when we have a
And
massive,
still have the same quality?
yes, when you have a massive order like the order we had for Total,
Yes.
we make the production happen. You can do 5 balls.
Yeah.
But 5 should be max because of the quality. Because when you do the 60 ball, you'll be very tired.
Yeah.
You came here at 8 and at 4, you are still working. So the maximum is 5 balls.
Okay.
Although there are some guys who can do 6.
All right.
Yep.
So what's the most okay?
That's when the production is open.
All right.
But when we have a massive order. But
Okay.
when we don't have,
Then you
4 balls,
easy.
the production for
all
the
right.
day. Yep.
What's the most expensive one out of all these balls that I see?
These
American
animal
football, I don't know
brands.
what. Oh, the animal brands
Oh,
are.
the brands.
Oh, because of the branding. So the branding
because
can as well
they
make
consume a lot
it.
of ink.
They can. Oh,
Yeah, you
okay.
see, it's all branded.
All right.
So that goes into the ball. So this is the most expensive. And it's just 2,000 Kenya shillings.
Oh, okay.
Only.
So that's not expensive. So,
Not so
you
expensive.
mean out of the branding and the types, the different types, like
Yeah.
this one is a different ball
Yes.
altogether. So still that one would be expensive.
It will be expensive because of
okay.
branding.
All right.
Yeah, yeah.
That's interesting.
All the animals, you can see these ones of the branding.
Yeah. Simba.
Although sometimes we charge as per the logo. If you bring a logo, we charge the colors.
That I
Yeah, we
operated
charge
in
as
this
per the
particular-
colors. But that's a one-off cost.
Yeah.
When you come next time, we still have your screen and your logo, so we'll
So
not
now
charge
that
you.
you don't charge for the
Yeah,
branding
you don't
and
charge
the
them
colors.
again. Yeah, that's
Because then
just-
there's the aspect of mixing of colors.
Yes,
and
all
all that.
this mixing of those to get the exact
All
what
right.
you send for us.
Okay, lastly on Money Talk,
Yep.
Do you really have funding coming or support coming from the government or other entities now that you're out here to pass great messages like let's all try and reverse the spread of HIV and AIDS, let's deal with malaria, let's talk about how we can preserve our very own. Are there times that you get funding and people who appreciate this?
It's a good question. Let me say we don't get any funding from anybody or any government, whatever. Alive and Kicking is a social enterprise. It's not an NGO where we get all the funding.
Okay.
Though this is a social enterprise where we have to make these balls and sell them and get something to pay our bills. So no funding at all.
But there are times you work with some of these entities.
Yeah, there's a time when we used to go to creation of awareness outside the town.
Yeah.
We were just getting funded by some guys like Safaricom, were very active, and then other NGOs and other companies were funding us. Those were back in 2009, 2008 there. Yeah, so that's only the funding we got when we were just doing the road shows. Sometimes we used to do the road shows. Yeah.
All right, that's good, amazing. That's on Money Talk. And now we want to throw the audience off the balance kidogo too, by just entertaining them, but entertaining them using you in the sense that you're going to tell us something small about you from the office, and then we get to laugh about it because then there are funny questions for you. So right after this.
Nishapeana hii ball. Hizi nipea watu wengi hizi ball hizi. I'm a sportsman. When the idea came, and since 1 second. Football, and still it is green. Ugali. When I got a warning letter.
Well, alive and kicking. Certainly a world of sports,
a world of balls, but most importantly, a world that does not segregate. Whether you're male or you're female, whether you're physically challenged or you're not, there's certainly something good that you can get to do. And we are so grateful to have been here and seen the incredible things that these great people are doing. And we say asante sana. That has been Millionaires Minds. Thank you.